This piece of belly pork has been out of the fridge now for a couple of hours, just sitting on the bench. It's only sort of about 22 degrees, so as you can see it was nicely scored all the way through the fat down to the meat, and I've actually salted it twice already. I'm just about to salt it for a third time. About an hour between saltings. You just sprinkle a bit of salt on, and when you go to resalt it again, just make sure you dry off the excess liquid which has developed. So we'll just leave it here now for another hour or so. That will take us up to close to about 5 o'clock, and if we put it on, it'll then take us up to 6 o'clock in eating time. Okay, so it's a little bit over an hour later. As you can see, some of the moisture has come out of the pork skin, and I'm using the bottom of the turbo cooker to draw a circle, and this is only to make cleanup easy. Okay, this is only really for making cleanup easy. Put a couple of layers of paper towel in the bottom to absorb some of the fat, and there'll always be fat. Then that circle of baking paper or similar, just as a layer, and then make sure it cooks underneath. Always put it on a bit of a rack. That's most important, otherwise you won't get air underneath. So here we have the pork, which I'm about to dry. Then I'll then put it in the turbo cooker, which will then have the lid put on it, crank the temperature up around about the 250 or so, and I'll set it for about an hour. Okay, the hot air cooker, turbo oven, whatever you want to call it, is now on. I put it on for a full 60 minutes, put the temperature up to about 230, 240, and as you can see it's starting to cook. Just for your information, the steel band there is so that you can make it a bigger cooker. Because the pork's so flat, it doesn't need it in this case. Okay, the pork's had now basically an hour at full crank, lifting the lid off just so that you can see it. Now I'm going to have to put the camera down because I've got to find somewhere to put the lid. Okay, now found somewhere to put the lid. Let's lift out the pork. This should be a lovely crispy skin pork. Cutting this one's going to be interesting because there's a couple of bones down the bottom, but we'll tackle that. So the next thing to do is, because there's only the two of us, is basically cut it down the centre and split it into two pieces. Tonight we're having it with a few tomato halves and some spring onion. Can also do it with bok choy, etc. Yeah, got to have a vodka to go with it. Okay, so after a little bit of a struggle to get through the ribs themselves down the bottom, often we don't have any ribs in the pork belly. What we're left with is two plates with very crispy crackling and a little serving of salad on the side. Now that was about 1 hour cooking time after close to 3 hours of salt. Salt it, dry it, salt it. Doesn't matter that it sits out in reasonable temperatures. 20 to 30 is probably okay. I might be a little bit concerned if it's over about 30, 35.